Welcome back to Overtake. Le Mans Ultimate's early access launch was the talk of the sim racing town without a doubt. The official WEC game has a great basis in place already, but also a long list of rough edges that need to be streamlined. Additionally, the list of features and game modes is relatively short. Check out our hands-on impressions to get a better overview over what LMU has to offer at the time of its early access launch. The title does have numerous ways to improve your experience that are hardly explained or in some cases not at all. To help with this, here are our top Le Mans Ultimate tips and hidden features. The first thing that already annoyed me was the numerous menu sliders and changing their values. By clicking on them, they are usually only changed in increments of 1, which means adjusting things can take a long time. Instead of left-clicking, use a right-click to increase or decrease the values by increments of 10, for example. This can come in very helpful when adding or removing larger amounts of fuel in your car setup, for instance. Driver changes are currently not in Le Mans Ultimate, so doing a full-length endurance race is out of the question for some. Unless you invite a friend or two over, you would have to sit in your rig for at least 6 hours by yourself, right? Or even 24 hours. Well, not quite. While proper driver swaps are not there yet, it is possible for the AI to take control of your car at any time. You can simply hit the I key on your keyboard, even when you are in the middle of a turn, and you can immediately hop out of your seat. Want back in, press I again to start a 3-second countdown until the AI hands back control to you. Sim racers looking for an instant replay function in the pause menu will be without luck. That does not mean that the feature is not there. However, pressing R at any point will start an instant replay. You can even change the maximum length of the replay in the gameplay settings menu. Simply scroll down to instant replay. There you can change the number of seconds up to 180, making 3-minute replays possible. Don't forget to make use of our right mouse button tip to be a bit quicker with that. There is more use to the instant replay than just being able to see what just happened. More on that later. So you have just entered an online event and went out on track. A few minutes pass and suddenly you come across another player's car, but it looks nothing like the race cars in any of the free classes in LMU. Is it a detuned GTE car? Why does it say your opponent is driving an LMP2 though? Well, this car is simply an evolution of the infamous yellow R-Factor 2 placeholder car. It appears if the car of an opponent that joined the server after you were already driving has not been loaded yet, which can lead to quite odd sights like a sort of GTE car in the middle of an all-hypercar grid. Hitting L will solve this problem. The hotkey basically refreshes the grid so that every car appears as it should. There is another very important key. Unless you are running a triple screen setup, you will likely be unable to see the wing mirrors of most cars if your FOV is set correctly. Many sims solve this problem with a virtual mirror that appears at the top of your screen so you know what is going on behind your car. Le Mans Ultimate does this as well. But why can't I find it, we hear you ask after digging through the menus for an hour. The option is indeed missing from the menus, but you can toggle the virtual mirror by simply pressing free. Pressing it again will disable all mirrors, another press activates in-car mirrors, and one more adds the virtual mirror again. Another important tip, if the subscribe button on our YouTube channel looks like this for you, there is an easy way to improve it by just left-clicking or tapping on it. Also, don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss future videos. The next topic is for all of you photographers out there hunting for the best shot. Modern racing titles usually come with a photo mode these days. No such mode exists in Le Mans Ultimate, but there is another way for screenshot enthusiasts to perfectly frame their cars and scenarios. The instant replay is here to help. Simply go to the controls menu, then to the camera tab. There, scroll down until you find the free camera entries. There you can assign buttons to control a drone-like camera. Ideally, you want to use a gamepad for this as it provides the most intuitive handling. Make sure to assign a button for entering the free camera mode. Standard for that is U. Similarly, you want to assign replay controls like play, pause, fast forward and rewind, which is also possible in the controls menu. After this, simply enter an instant replay, fast forward to the point you want to take a screenshot of, then hit the pause button. Now you can enter the free camera mode and move around, zoom and tilt the image as you please. The caveat of this is that you will have the replay HUD on screen as well, which you would need to crop out. However, if you use the watch option in any session, you can get a completely HUD-free shot. Just wait for the free move enable text box to disappear a few seconds after activating it. The usual photo mode controls like aperture, shutter speed or focus distance do not come into play this way, but it is possible to create great looking screenshots using this method. If you want to dig deeper though, there are free lens settings at the very bottom of the camera controls menu. There you can assign keys to change focus, aperture and exposure. Another important topic is camera. Since everyone's preferences are different, some sim racers may want to adjust or completely disable the camera movement in cockpit camera. For some, a car bouncing up and down on screen while everything else, rig, seat, wheel, is stationary around them can cause a feeling of being disconnected from the car. Looking for adjustment sliders in the camera menu will not get you far though. But hold on just a minute before you proceed to pull your hair out and dive into the process of editing config files. The option is there, just not where you would expect it to be. It is in the entirely logical Calibrate tab of the control settings under the steering settings headline, obviously. For me, everything on 0 except head movement on 20% did the best job of being stiff enough but still smoothing out some of the harshest bumps like at Sebring. While VR is not in Le Mans Ultimate yet, ultra-wide monitors and triple screens are supported. There are no options to adjust the game to your triple setup. Interestingly, the rFactor 2 triple screen widget is available with the old hotkey, but it does not work. There's still a way to adjust LMU for your triple screen setup, however. You can edit the config ini file, or you can just simply copy and paste the file from your rFactor 2 installation should you have one. Your RF2 triple screen settings will carry over to LMU without a problem this way. We can also recommend Dan Suzuki's videos here, who does excellent detailed triple screen setup tutorials. With LMU's limited scope of game modes, a time trial or free practice mode are amiss. Once you're at the event settings screen of a race weekend, click Advanced Options. A list of options for all 3 sessions greets you, and both practice and qualifying can be switched to private sessions. That way you get all of the nice racing circuit that you paid for to yourself. This method can serve as a workaround or replacement for the missing free practice or time trial modes. All cars in Le Mans Ultimate feature sequential gearboxes, meaning you go up and down through the gears using shifter pedals on the wheel. Shifting down from first gear engages neutral, eliminating the need to keep the clutch in when stationary. But say you spin off the track and want to get going or engage reverse gear as quickly as possible. There are 2 ways to immediately jump to neutral from any gear. The most obvious one is that you can simply assign a key to do this, completely eliminating the need to click your pedals multiple times before having the desired gear. Second is enabling the use simultaneous shift up and down neutral activation setting in wheel settings. It's under settings, controls and calibrate, and then scroll down, as well as the stop sequential shift to neutral if neutral configured option allows you to simply pull on both shifter pedals at the same time to go to neutral. Very handy, we think. A little bonus hidden detail that is apparent in some cockpits. For instance, the Oreca 07 LMP2 car has a prominent track map clearly visible near the top of the cockpit. This even changes with the circuit you are racing at, so it's not just decoration. That's it for today. Do you know any more useful Le Mans Ultimate tips or hidden features? Let us know in the comments below. In case you haven't seen our first look of Early Access Day 1, it is linked here. Have a nice rest of the week.